You know, when you lay your head down at night, you don't know if you'll wake up that next morning. When you get up that morning, you don't know if that's going to be your last day. There you go. Atta girl. You see those cows over there, huh? Atta girl. Come on. Wait. 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 Okay, come on. Come on, Lori. You can jump off of there. Oh, Lori. Come here, Lori. Come here, Lori. You're a sorry hound. Wait, wait. All right, come on. Don't scare my mule. Let me give you a little more slack. I'm gonna have to, I used to do it to my horses. I'd put that mane and tail in their tail, and get this, she's got a big old knot in her tail right here. And you gotta get it softened up so you can get out, or you'll just brush out their whole tail. It doesn't make any difference to me, but I seen those that $50,000 mule, it had a real long, nice tail. And then also I got some clippers and I'll roach her mane, because that looks good too. I've never done that before with my other mules. Years ago when we showed horses, we used to roach their manes. And then that went out of style and the long manes came back, came popular. One thing don't think I would ever be into, and I know there's guys that do it. There's a guy on Facebook and maybe different. A lot of guys I don't know anything about is probably taking bad mules and trying to fix them. I have no desire in messing with a bad mule. None. I mean, there's certain things that might make them not as good as others. That's fine, little things that I will put up with. But, a bad, mean mule that you're trying to fix, or a wild mule, I don't want nothing to do with them either. I'm too old. I want to ride something nice. And I don't mind, I want to take a mule like this that's already been broke, and I can tell that the man who had her did a really, really good job. Got another story of another horse that I trained, or a horse that trained me, really. My dad had this appendix bred mare. Appendix means that she was she was thoroughbred, quarter horse bred, and she was just drop dead gorgeous, just coal black, and she was put together just like you want one made, she was beautiful. And I asked my dad, I said, well, what are you going to do with her? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm probably going to sell her. And I said, you mind if I ride her for a while? He said, no, go ahead and ride her. And so I got on her and I started riding her. And I started putting her through the paces, the program. I don't think I ever brought her out here. I had her there at that time I had a farm, and had a roping arena in my backyard, and I had a round pen and all that stuff, and I rode her, and she was good until you started pushing her a little bit, and you get her a little bit tired, then she would bite you a little bit. And we were out there, and I was loping circles on her, and I was trying to get her to gather up and really roll her back and sit down on her hind end. And she could sit on her hind end when she wanted to, but it wasn't a consistent thing. Sometimes she'd, poke her front end, stab her front instead of really getting supple and rolling that back. And one of the ways you do that is you keep bending them, and you get them real flexible in the body and bending them, and then you pick them up and let them start sitting down. And you can't You can take a good stop out of a horse, but you can't put a real good stop in a horse that doesn't have it to start with. That's my belief. Maybe some people can, but I think they're born with that ability to really suck their hind end underneath them and stop. But anyway, she could do it when she wanted to. And I got her tired out there, and her and I got in a little fight, and I was backing her up and, you know, trying to get her to do things right, and I kicked her and we ran around. And I tell you what now, after I'd rode her for a while, this old sow broke loose. And I mean, she honked and barked and sucked her head down, got her reins away from me. And she made me an arena dart out there. I mean, just boom. Gosh dang, I got all, you know, fuzzy, and I stood up and I thought, I'll be dang. And I got on her and I rode her, and she didn't do it again the rest of that day. So I roped on her, or I rode her some more, and then I started doing some steer stopping on her. And steer stopping is, you know, you go out there and you come out of the box and you rope one around the horns and you set them up and you stop them, boom. And she was getting tired again. And about the 5th or 6th steer, we're running down the arena, and I tell you what, that steer went to the right just a little bit, and I kind of hung out in that right stirrup to go out there and reach out and rope him. And when I did like that, boom, she hit and just rolled her back and just, oh man, she bucked and bucked and bam, threw me off again. And when she bucked, I mean, she bucked. It wasn't just a crow hopping. Pop, 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 pop. I mean, she was bucking. So I took her, and the next time I was roping her, or not roping on her, and I was riding her around there, got her tired again, and she started arguing with me a little bit, and I got in a little fight with her, and boom, she cut loose again. And she threw me again. She could throw me. And I'm no bronc rider, but she bucked hard. And there's a reining horse trainer, a good horse trainer over in Oklahoma. He's passed away now, but he was a good guy, and I went to school with him, and that's what he did for a living, is he trained reining horses. His name's Dale Harvey, and he seen her and he wanted to buy her. My dad sold her to him. I took her to my dad. I said, I ain't riding her no more. This is enough. I learned my lesson, and Dad told Dale, said, when he bought her, he said, now, Brett rode her, and he said she bucked some. He said, but she never bucked with me. He said, but he said she'll buck. And Dale said, you know, of course, Dale's a good horseman. He wasn't really concerned, you know, and he said, oh yeah, he said, I'll ride her, that's okay. Dad said in about 2 weeks, he called him back up and said, you know what, Mr. Vaughn? He said, this old sow can really buck. He said, she don't just mess around, she bucks. I don't ever know what happened to her. I think they made her a broodmare. She was real well bred, and like I said, she was beautiful. And I think they just went ahead and made her a broodmare. I don't know why you'd want to breed anything that could buck. Maybe they're going to raise bucking stock for the rodeos. I don't know. But I was thinking about that. There comes a time in a lot of these animals where they're going to get tired. And when they get tired, how they're going to react to that and how you're going to push them through it is kind of, we'll see. I don't know. She hasn't been tired yet. She might not have ever been tired. I don't know if the old man ever rode her out that hard or got her tired, but we'll see. doing good. She's a little bit wishy-washy, like a rag, not really staying framed up underneath me. I'm not riding with spurs either. I remember I ran into an old lion hunter up there on top of the mountain one time, and he looked at me, and I was riding my old jet mule, and he said, "You don't ride with spurs?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't have to ride with spurs. He's a good mule." He said, "Spurs just make a good mule better." Might be true. I get a little heavy-footed sometimes. Oh. 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 There you go. There you go. No, you haven't been hobbled before. What, do you just want to follow me around? It's okay. Don't get on top of me. There you go. Go get you some grass. She'll learn. It's good for her. I don't want any complaints. People saying it's cruel. It's not cruel. They just got to learn how to move with them. But if I get to camp somewhere early, I can hobble them if there's a nice little meadow with grass, and they can get some good feed. It's all part of the training, I believe. I want to do it out here because there's no logs, no creeks, no banks, no nothing. In case I panicked, although I don't think mules panic, horses can. But so she can, no way she can hurt herself here. Come here, Bosco. Okay, go on out. Bosco. Bosco. Wait. I've been gone for a week. So, with Brilliant Bonnie, or Pretty Penny, whatever you want to call her, she had 4 days. I worked her every day a little bit. That last day I rode her, and I rode her way up on the side of the mountain. She was doing so good, I just kept on going. But then I had to leave. We had a kind of a bad deal happen. A friend of mine, he started coming down and staying with me when I had the farm, and I was roping a lot. That was about 28 years ago. Anyway, when he first came down, he was from Michigan. Hello, Al. Okay, you're a good boy. Go play. Go out going. He was from Michigan, and he was a horseman. He rode horses, and he liked to rope. He used to be a really good bulldogger. And a friend of ours called my dad, and my dad called me and said, "Hey, you got a place for this guy to stay?" Said he's trying to get out of that cold weather in Michigan. He needs a winter hangout. And I said, "You bet." No, I didn't really say you bet. I said, "Yeah." I said, "He can come down and stay." And I remember telling my wife, "Well, he's going to have to earn his way and earn his keep." And I don't know, I was just being an idiot, really. And so he came down that very first morning. They were out there, him and his wife were out there chopping weeds. I mean, working on the place. And it grew into a long-term friendship for over 20-something years. He came down every winter and spent the winter with me. He was one of the handiest guys that I'd ever been around. He could fix anything. He could build just about anything. He could work on anything. He was a header, so I had a roping arena at that time, and I heeled all the time. I mean, he turned steers for me. I always joked around that, you know, I spent all summer tearing things up, and he spent all winter fixing things. I've never been the most handy guy in the world. And anyway, when he first came down, he had like 32 or 33 years old. He was a relatively young man. He had had a major heart attack and had blown out part of his heart. And he always said he said, I won't be around very long. I won't last very long. But that was 28 years ago or more. Booger. That was 28 years ago or longer. And he just passed here a couple weeks ago. And we went to the funeral back in Michigan last week. No, not last week, this week. Let me tell you what, even though you get on a jet airplane, it's a long ways from southern New Mexico to Michigan. It's a long ways. And I've never been so tired in my life. Something like that happens, it's a reminder. You know, when you lay your head down at night, you don't know if you'll wake up that next morning. When you get up that morning, you don't know if that's going to be your last day. Bean! You got to make your time worthwhile. You got to do what you can while you have the opportunity. Some of the things I like the most is to just be able to get on a mule, take a pack mule, and travel through the country. Go into some wilderness areas, even if you're just riding across this old desert. So I want to do a lot more of that this year. And that's the whole idea with these two mules I got. I mean, I got a pack mule. Ruth is a pretty good pack mule. Okay. No, okay, get down. Ruth is a good pack mule. She's all right. She's not my favorite mule just because she's hard to catch and she's real watchy and she don't really like me. I don't know anything about Clyde. We're going to start Clyde this coming week. But I think Bonnie's going to be all right. She's got a world of sense to her. She's real smart. She's easy. Go on, Jack, go on. She's easy to get along with. So I want to go some places, see some things. And I want to see how good I can make her. I'm going to do things a little different with her than I did with my other mules. I'm going to try to make her ride around. We'll see. Bad, huh? You looking for where the truck is? It's way back there. Just have to work on her left rear. She just wants to, she don't want to put any weight on this right side, and she just leans on you. She don't want to get off of it. I can fix that with a little bit of work. It is hot. Temperatures this week are supposed to get up. I think today is Saturday. This coming Wednesday is supposed to get up to 105. Might be time for me and Bonnie to head for the high country. You know, I go through this program. Like for her, it was as much for me as it was for her. Me taking the steps to get confidence in her. Buying her sight unseen. Never getting on her when I bought her. You know, that might have been a dumb thing, but I also bought her right. I paid the right price for her, so. And it wasn't $50,000, I can promise you that. Anyway, I'm gonna unsaddle her, and I'm gonna load up these hound dogs, and I'm gonna head to the house. It was a good day.